Shalom, everyone. Peace for those who love peace, and no peace for the wicked, the Lord said. Speaking of peace, of wicked, you know, uh, we saw in the news what it looked like. Good news, like Putin, he met with the Trump, and Trump, he met with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, and looked like there's something having, like something moving toward peace. However, I see this in a different way. Even though Trump and his team, they are like, wow, amazing. Yeah, for sure, Trump is better than the rest. At least he is trying to do something. However, the motive sometimes is different. I noticed that Trump is obsessed with, you know, to be given the Peace Prize, Nobel Prize. He signed many peace deal, but if you check them out, you will find none of them is really real. The last one, the deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia. But this is the same thing he did, in the year 2016. And then, weeks after, Azerbaijan invaded with Turkey, and they killed more than 5,000 Armenian young men. Same business deal in the Congo. Too many papers, but it's just, using, let us say, the power of America to bring people into the table, to shake hands in the front of the camera, but in reality, there's nothing really happening. And now I believe he is forcing this Ukrainian president somehow siding with Putin because they needed from Russia something else. The Ukrainian president is in a very weak position since the beginning of the war. He is the weak part of the war. I'm not talking about him as a person, I'm talking about the country. So we have Russia, which is super powerful country, consider maybe the second powerful army in the world, attacking a country. They don't even have a single drone when Putin attacked them. Imagine. And all their airplanes is very old, from the Soviet Union time. In fact, Hezbollah, they have way better weapon when the war started from Ukraine. You can believe it or not. So going back to the topic, the Ukrainians, for sure, they are exhausted from this war. And Putin is almost there because simply the inflation in the country is very bad. Banks are not able to pay their mortgage. The federal central bank is almost out of money. And lately, Trump, he put some extra sanctions, which is, I doubt, will make a big difference, but they will hurt, but it's not going to be really something severe. So the Ukrainians, they are desperately ready to stop the war. Even though they were able to resist for 3 years in the front of a massive army, and this army not even able to go and take much of the land. If you check how much land Putin he took, it is nothing compared to what supposedly his army can accomplish. And I know someone will say, well, Ukraine are not fighting alone. That's not true, because giving them ammunition, and not only that, even the weapon they gave them, they told them you cannot use it in the Russian land. Any attack on the Russian land have to be done by weapon is your made, not our made. All the weapon USA gave to Ukraine was enforced to be used only in Ukrainian occupied territory. And that forced the Ukrainian to proceed in making their own weapon so they can go and attack inside. So all the drones they bought before, they could not use them to attack inside Russia until they start making their own drones, and now they become very advanced in such a weapon. So the war in Ukraine is not going good for Putin, and for sure it's not going good to the Ukrainian too. Even the Ukrainians, they were able to resist and fight, really very strong fight. But still, there is no balance in the war, except that the Ukrainians are defending their land, and the one who attack always will lose way more than the one who defend. Putin, he thought he will take Ukraine in 24 hours. This is why he called it operation. And Putin now, I believe that this this whole meeting, Putin is very smart, sneaky person. He's a KGB. He's not Trump. He's not even Zelensky. He's very, very sneaky snake. So he said to himself, things is getting worse for me. Let me do something. At least let me break the unity line between European and American. And I believe all of this is just to do that. He was expecting Zelensky to come to the White House and say, no, I don't agree. So then he will say, see, I told you. And Trump, he have a big mouth already. They attacked the guy, the Ukrainian, and they were very rude for him and J.D. Vance, the idiot. I call him an idiot because, since we saw what happened in the White House last time with Zelensky, he started asking him why you don't wear a suit. You notice now, J.D. Vance, he did not ask him why you aren't wearing a suit. Nothing changed, the same clothing. Very stupid, very, very immature. Obviously, he's upset from something else. Have nothing to do with his suit. When I say stupidity is amazing, it is. They treated the guy like a dog, and they wanted to take the middle of Ukraine. However, this is different. Like the poor Ukrainian, everybody want to take a bite of them. Trump, he want to take a big bite. Putin want to take a big bite, and I don't know who's else. We will see soon. So Zelensky, he have no choice to say no. So he said, okay, let us have a meeting. I agree. But he did not, I don't think he would agree to give the land to Russia. But I think he wanted to break the game of Putin. He will wait for Putin to make it difficult to reach agreement. And then, because there is no way he will give his land. He have no right to do so, There's no president in the world. He will dare to do so. Like, ask yourself, what if we have a war with Mexico? Do Trump dare to say, okay, I will give you a land, I will give you Texas, I will give you California? Impossible. But the funny is, Trump, he see no problem that Ukrainian giving their land, but he did not ask himself, why even Putin, he come to Alaska? This is a Russian land. I mean, it's no question about it. The Russian, they sold it. Do Putin dare to ask Trump, give me the land back? He will not. Not now. Maybe in the future, if America became, face a civil war because of Democrat and immigration and garbage we have here. It might happen, all empires, they have an average of, certain life. And when the empire became old and become too much woke, all empires in the world, they get destroyed because of their woke. I don't think that woke is something new. It's old. The Roman Empire destroyed because of the woke, and many of them. So time will come and Putin, whoever going to be there in Russia, he will say Alaska is our land. In fact, in the media, in just a few months, they start talking about Alaska in Russia. They want Alaska. But it did not become, or let us say, Putin did not mention it because he's smart. He knew he cannot take it anyway. But if things go, let us say, wrong with America, then they will start talking about it. Or if America go weak, and that is possible, but maybe not now, maybe 100 years from now. So anyway, I believe that this peace negotiation, Putin, he don't want it. Putin just trying to break the line and to stop the sanctions of USA and to get a relief, from suffocating himself. So opening a peace talk, he can put conditions before we go and sit in the table and we start doing this. You have to free the sanctions. And if Trump he agree, and I am guessing he might, Trump he just want a peace, Nobel Prize. It doesn't matter how. He is desperate for it. He might do that, and then Putin he did what he want actually. He will be able to breathe for his economy, and that will make him able to survive longer with the money, because Ukrainians still they are getting the support of Europe, which means they have a supply, but Russia they don't, you know. So I think this meeting between both is going to be, it's like we are playing games, Putin, he want to make Zelensky feel guilty that he is the one who don't win peace. Zelensky, he understand that very well, and he understand that Trump, he's just a big immature boy sometime, and right away he will start to throw rocks at him. So he agreed for whatever conditions Trump he put, and later we will see that the negotiation will break apart. And then in the game of the negotiation, each one of them try to make it look like it is the other part who did not stop the war. But the Ukrainian president, I don't think he will give up his land. He cannot do that, legally. The president cannot do that. And even if he reach an agreement, the Ukrainian, they have to vote for it. And I doubt that Ukrainian, even though they are desperate to have peace, but I doubt the Ukrainian will vote for such a thing. However, it's possible, if people, they are desperate for peace and they are losing hundreds of thousands of their young men, they might, been forced, let us say, forced into peace, which is going to be temporarily. Because when you force somebody into so-called peace, that is not peace. That is a piece of shit, excuse my language. So maybe Ukraine will say yes now, and then many years after they will go and try to take their land back. And we will see, but I'm guessing that Putin is just being a snake, trying to play both Trump and the European Union, not the Ukrainian. The Ukrainian, they knew him. Ukrainian, they knew very well that this guy is a snake. Nobody can trust him. They signed many agreements with him before, none of them work. And the most important agreement, actually, like now they are saying about security guarantee for Ukraine. But all of us, we knew that Ukrainian, they gave up their nuke in return of a security agreement. And the one who signed it is USA and Russia themselves. And as you see, Trump and Biden and all of, whatever, since 2014, they throw Ukraine under the bus. And Russia, the other party who signed for a security agreement in return of giving the nukes, is the one to attack. So the Ukrainian, they knew that when they sign security agreement, it's just a piece of shit. It means nothing. It's just a matter of time who will be stronger and who will eat who. And the funny here, this picture of Trump, he looked really like an idiot. Is like the dump between two. And, Putin is extremely sneaky person. And I noticed, by the way, how Orthodox Church in America is speaking about how Putin is a man of faith. And it's very, very upsetting how filthy some priests they are. Because how this man is a person of faith, and he is every day, like just yesterday, 7 civilians killed in attacking and hitting an apartment building. But he is a person of faith. A person of faith, to take a land, small land, he was willing to kill millions. And they are Christians, but he is a person of faith. Very, very disgusting, priest leadership in the Orthodox Church, sadly, in Russia, and those who praise him. I saw many videos made by American Orthodox. Corruption, they are corrupt like Muhammad, the filthy Muhammad. They are businessmen. What happened with the Orthodox Church, they feel like there's no leadership left for them in the world, which means there's no power, to depend on except Russia. So they praise Putin for anything, even if he is a piece of shit, and even if he's satanic, because they feel that the only support they have as Orthodox is Russia. Greece is just a small, tiny country, and hardly can protect themselves. Serbia, is the same. Is not that much. So I mean, all the Orthodox, they are not really exist anymore as power, like Romania, Bulgaria. So the only superpower, and the only solo, is Russia. And now for sure, I don't blame them to find in Russia a refuge of backup. However, you should not sell your ethic just for politics. That is a shame. Me, myself, I will never hate the Russian. I always actually, I admire them. They did many things through history, good things. I cannot blame the Russian for the communist, because most of them, they are Christians. But I can speak against those who call themselves priests, and then they act as a priest of the devil. Praising the Chechen Republic attack on Ukraine, a massive Islamic army attacking Ukraine. And yet they call that this is a Christian, war against evil. Christian war, but they are using Muslims, and they are using communists from North Korea. Very evil. And always remember, the one who attack your home is the criminal, not the opposite. It's not Ukraine invading Moscow. It is Russia. And I know some dummy, they will say, well, no, this is Russian land. Oh, Russian, they gave it to them. Well, thank you very much. Even if so, which is not true. Russia gave the land to Alaska to America. Why don't take it? Which one is more important? Some will say to you, oh, the NATO getting close. Stupid idiot. USA is just 500 meters away from the first land of Russia. There's actually not a 500 meter. We have just a pencil line. We have a pencil line between Russia and USA. So the NATO getting closer is just a joke. Same time already the NATO is there, and here we go. Finland and Sweden, they joined the NATO. Why Putin don't say, no, we cannot. I will attack you. Which one is more important? Because Finland and Sweden, they can control the Arctic, which is the most treasure for Russia. So very filthy, Putin, and predicted Trump. This guy, he might say something tomorrow, totally the opposite of what he said today. Just wait. Tomorrow he might start calling names to Zelensky if Zelensky did not agree with him anything. But he will not do the same to Putin, The difference is that this poor guy, Zelensky, he is the weak person in this case. So everybody blame him, like nobody dare to speak. Who dare to attack the beast, Same time, the American, they have a strategy to take Putin to their side so he will not be close to China. And this is other topic. Maybe we can talk about it some other time. The American, they consider now number one threat to USA is the Chinese. When I say the Chinese, I mean the Chinese Communist government. And having both Russia and China tied together, plus Iran, is not a good thing for USA. So Trump is trying to break that, let us say, line between Russia, North Korea, China, and Iran. So if he said to himself or his administration, if I can bring Putin, close to us and make him break apart with those, that is worse to throw Ukraine under the bus. So Ukraine is just a bait to make Putin leave the line of the enemy. As simple as that. And this is how I see it. I might be wrong, but time will tell. So leave your comment, and we will see. The last point I want to make, that Trump, he see that China is very scary, Uh, like the Taiwan president, he was going to visit USA just 2 weeks ago, and Trump, he refused to allow him to land in USA. Imagine, to land. The American did not dare to let the Taiwanese president to land in USA to visit Trump. That is telling you how much they are scared of China. But with this poor Zelensky, they have a big mouth. You know, you don't wear a suit, you are nobody, disrespect us. You did not even say thank you. With the Chinese are ripping them apart, stealing anything is made in USA is stolen and made in China, including even Apple phones. Anything you can imagine. Even the airplanes is made in USA and now is made in China. They have access to everything in USA. Because those Americans are stupid, they keep allowing Chinese students to come, and even Chinese to go and work in companies like Lockheed, top secret, top notch technology companies. And then the Chinese, they steal, copy, of whatever they have, and they start making it in China. And we know nobody can do better job than the Chinese when it comes to this. So the whole, circle you see in front of you, the Ukrainian will be the victim of the plan of the American with Putin to break ties between the terrorists of Iran, the terrorists of North Korea, and in the same time hoping that China will be felt alone again, so they will not attack Taiwan. So the game is bigger than what we think and bigger what you see. It's not those three in the stage are just a small part of the circle. Anyway, leave your comment, and we pray for peace. But the only one who can bring peace is the Lord. And there's no peace in this earth as long the wicked ones are on the stage. And wicked will never seek peace. Never. They are wicked. Thank you.